Hey guys, Preston here. Welcome back to another video. Today we are doing the UFC 225 preview and predictions. However, as the time of recording this, we just recently found out that Yoel Romero missed weight again by 0.2 pounds this time, and we still have no idea what's going to happen there. We don't know if they're still going to fight, but it doesn't matter. Whitaker gets to keep his belt. If they still somehow do it for a belt, I don't know if they'll let Whitaker agree to something, or if they straight up cancel the whole fight. Or try to find I mean, it's very unlikely that they can find someone for tomorrow to fight, because there's not even another middleweight on the card that they could call up and scrap the lower one. It's just that fight. It's the only middleweight fight in the whole card I'm looking at. But either way, we're gonna do the preview and predictions, just assuming that the main event between Yoel Romero and Robert Whitaker stays the same, and because if it doesn't, obviously that fight doesn't matter. I'm going to pay attention to this because this is a card I definitely think is worth buying. But if Yoel doesn't fight, I'm not too sure about it anymore. But anyways, we'll go through order. There's actually a lot of interesting fights on this card. So I think I'm going to discuss 3 on the main card, 2 on the prelims, and actually, and then 1 on the fight pass. That's how spread out they made this card. I don't know if it's the smartest thing to do. I mean, it is a stacked card, which is what people want, but then you still get people saying, why is this fighter on Fight Pass, or why is this guy not on the main card, But either way, we'll just look into these. So we'll start with the main event, or hopefully it's still the main event, is Robert Whitaker versus Yoel Romero 2. Whitaker won the last one by unanimous decision, and is now the undisputed middleweight champion. This is his first title defense since he fought Whitaker. Last fight, it was pretty easy for Whitaker, and before the missing weight, I was gonna say I think I'll still go with Yoel Romero this time, just because I feel like Yoel looked amazing against Luke Rockhold his last fight, and you can always improve. And now I think there's pros and cons to having it be a rematch for both sides. Obviously, the pro for Yoel is that he's lost before, so he knows what went wrong and what he can change. And I'd say a possible con for Whitaker is, he's fought him before too, so he knows how to beat him, which is a pro. Obviously, what you got to deal with, changing it, and the confidence. I mean, there's a chance Whitaker's overconfident right now because he won the last fight, and so sometimes you tend to be like, oh, I beat this dude already, no problem. Then you can get caught or something. So I'm still gonna go Yoel. Let's say 4th round TKO. I don't know if I'll be too right on this. So far, I've done these videos for three other cards, 220. I mean, 2 other cards, 220 and 221. On 221, I got, I think, all my picks right, but maybe 1. And then on 220, I split it because I only did the 2 main events, and I got DC right, and I got Stipe wrong because I doubted him. Which is you shouldn't do anymore. That's a big card too. 226 is definitely one to buy, and I'll do a video on that one too. Next up, so I said, yeah, Yoel on that one. Then you have RDA versus Colby Covington, and I'm gonna go with experience and just calmness. I think I'm RDA, and I'm gonna give it to RDA. He's a more he's very calm. He knows what he's doing. He's been in MMA for years now. He's a veteran of the sport. Colby's an up-and-comer. He has some good wins, but I mean, everyone recently has been beating up Damian Maia, so I don't think that wins as impressive as he thinks it is. And so RDA is really well-rounded. He doesn't rely on one thing. I will say Colby probably punches harder, is what I'm going to guess. I mean, RDA was a featherweight, now he's here, so I mean, there's a difference, I think, and he's fighting some guys who punch a bit harder. So I'm going to give it to RDA via decision. Unanimous, though. It shouldn't be split or anything like that. Obviously, there's always a chance he can knock him out or get a submission, but either way, I believe this fight will go to RDA. Then we have Holly Holm versus Megan Anderson, and to be honest, I don't know too much about Megan Anderson. I believe they said this is her first UFC fight, I believe, and so obviously I'm gonna go with Holly Holm because experience, and I know enough about her to figure it out. But I will say decision, just because I mean, Holly Holm is one of the women in the UFC who I think has that knockout power sometimes. Obviously, I mean, she dropped Ronda before, but I think it'll probably end up a decision. We're going to skip. Sorry if you want to know who I pick between Andre Arlovski or is it Tua or Tai Tavasi or whatever. I'm going to go with the Tuivasa guy. That's all I'm gonna say about it. I'm not gonna go too in depth because I don't know him too well. But the Aussie, I'll go with the Aussie, even though he's younger, and I think his fight was pretty impressive last time. And so Andres, is older on the way out. The most irrelevant fight, which we have no idea who is gonna win this. Forget CM Punk versus Mike Jackson. Both are 0-1 in UFC, and they're both on the main card. Isn't that crazy? I don't know. I want the CM Punk to win because it'd be awesome. It'd just be fun. It's better for the UFC if he wins too, honestly. But I believe Mike Jackson has more experience, even though he's 0-1 also. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna regretfully give that fight to Mike Jackson by this decision. Sure, we'll say decision. But I mean, CM Punk's last fight, he got choked out pretty fast. So we'll find out how much better he really got. Because honestly, he jumped up because of his name. But if he was smart and really taking MMA seriously, he probably should have developed. He could have still been pro, but at least be pro in one of the smaller fighting promotions. Not even Bellator, like below Bellator, like Professional Fighters League or World Series of Fighting or like something like that, Cage Warriors, Start lower, get better, and then move up. No one can just jump to the top like that. With the exception of Brock Lesnar, but he had actual high-level collegiate wrestling experience in the past. And Brock's good, but even then, his career is not the most impressive thing. All right, so now to the prelim card, which is on Fox Sports 1, by the way. This takes place Saturday, June 9th, if no one knew, in Chicago. But anyways, sorry, I look up at the screen because I got my TV has the fight card on it right now. But we have Overeem versus Curtis Blades. I'm going to go ahead and give it to Curtis Blades. He's the younger fella up and coming. He looked pretty impressive his last run out. And Overeem, he got rocked last fight. So, I mean, it's obviously had plenty of time off because that was in January. But I just think Overeem's kind of on the downturn now, and it happens to fighters sometimes. We're going to go. So next we have the strawweight matchup between Claudia Gadelha and Carla Esparza. I'm going to go ahead and give that to Claudia. I think her last fight I saw was fairly impressive. I can't remember, but either way, I think she's just a better fighter, in my opinion, than Carla Esparza. I mean, Carla's not bad. I feel like she's been out of a bit. Her last win was has done well. The name Cynthia Cavillo is who she fought, I think. Yeah. But I think Esparza's just on a higher level than her. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it to Esparza. Let's say decision. That's a pretty easy guess. Just keep guessing decision. Then we'll go ahead. We'll skip the other two events on the prelim. Sorry if you're a Ricardo Lamas fan or anything like that. For the featherweight, sure, we'll give it to Lamas. For the featherweight between Lamas and Mirsad Bektic. I don't like butchering names, but it's going to happen, especially in the UFC with all the foreigners, because every country almost has a fighter by now. Then we'll go to the prelim card. We're gonna go ahead. We'll talk about one fight on there just because it could definitely pass as a main card fight or a prelim card fight. So that's Joseph Benavidez on his return after a long layoff due to injury versus Sergio Pettis. I'm gonna go ahead and give that fight to Pettis. He's a bigger name. He's still been fighting. I think Benavidez might be a bit rusty on his debut back in Octagon, which is natural to happen. Not everyone can be like John Jones and get a head kick KO when he enters the ring after a year layoff. So that's the fight card. That's some of my predictions on it. I think it's going to be really good. So far, all the cards that have happened this year, and I think looking ahead in the future a bit, 225, if the main event stays, and 226 are going to be some of the best cards of the entire year. 226, honestly, I think will be better than this one, but this one's still pretty impressive if you just read the list of these people fighting. It's going to be really interesting. Make sure you tune in. If you want to debate me on this or you have a different opinion on the winners or losers, go ahead, feel free and comment below. There you go. Just prelims are on Fox Sports 1, just in case you wanted to know. Not sure what time it starts. I'm guessing if it's going to be like most fights, the prelims on FS1 will start at 8 and the main card will start around 10. But other than that, guys, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And let's hope they let Yoel Romero fight for that title. This is K-May Preston, signing out. See you guys later.